everyone, welcome back. Okay, I've got another project for you for today, which is a drawstring bag. You can use these for all number of, you can use a drawstring bag for any number of things. The ones I've got on the info sheet are a child's shoe bag, a gift bag for like a piece of jewellery or a small gift, and also a wine bottle bag as well. I haven't made a wine bottle bag as an example, but I have made the other two up. Here's a little gift bag, as you see there, with the ladybirds on. So these are the bags that do this, whoop, and draw up into a nice little gift bag. And then I've also made a shoe bag as an example as well. So it's a little bigger. And then just draw that up, pop your shoes in, and they're good for traveling, for sticking in your school bag. If you're taking your gym shoes to school, you could put them in a little bag, stop them getting other things dirty or crumpling up paper or whatever in your bag. So this is what we're going to do today, a little drawstring easy make bag. So here's what you need for it, just on the project sheet down here. So the one we're going to make today is the shoe bag. That's what I've cut out, ready to go today. So as you see, to be honest, you can make this any size. It doesn't really matter what fabric you've got and what you want to make it with. If you've only got a piece this big, make one this big. If you've got a piece this big, you can make one this big, whatever. So I've cut out a piece of this floral fabric. Very pretty. I'm going to show you how to make this bag. It's really simple. As I say, all these things that I'm showing you in this little sewing course, this little learn to sew thing, are really easy. They're just straight lines of stitches on a sewing machine, and anyone can do them. Once you've figured out how to sew a straight line on your sewing machine, you can make all of these projects, I promise. And then the other thing that you'll need is a cord or a piece of ribbon or something. I'm using a shoelace. Shoelaces are really good for this project. This one it's a little more durable. It's probably a bootlace, but you could use a shoelace, any kind of cordy thing like this will work. So the first part of the project I'm going to show you down here. I've moved the sewing machine out of the way. So it's just the table at the moment. What I'm going to do is lay my fabric out with the wrong side facing up. So the right side, the side that you're going to eventually see, is face down on the table. And then what I'm going to do is fold this edge over by about, this is not the straightest piece of fabric ever been cut. So I'm folding it over there, what's that, about 5 centimeters or so? Should we measure it just to see? Yeah, 4 centimeters will be fine, 4 or 5 centimeters. It's not precise, it doesn't matter too much. Just enough that you get this edge here. And then I'm actually going to pin a row of pins as I'm going to sew, which is, I think, the first time we've done this on this sewing. So I'm just pinning along where I'm going to sew, which is at the edge of the fabric, not up by the fold. So I'm just going to put probably 5 pins or so in. Okay, now I've pinned that row. Let me just show you, because that's what we do. So do you see the pins are just here in a row going along here. And now I'm going to sew basically along my pin line, but you have to take your pins out. Don't sew over your pins. I can't stress that enough so much. Don't sew over your pins. Okay, let's go to sewing machine cam and you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm putting it into the machine and I'm not sewing, you know how I normally said I use the foot as a guide? I'm actually not doing that. I'm using the pin line as my guide. So I want to line the needle up roughly with the first pin. It's not an exact art, but it's, you know, good enough really. And and I'm going to drop the presser foot down and sew along there. Okay, so now we have this sewn line. We're going to trim these bits off the side and then I'll show you the next bit. Let's go down to the camera down here and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I've got my fabric laid out on the table here and you can see the fold is coming over here. This is where the raw edge is. So what I'm going to do is turn the fabric over so that that is face down to me. And then I'm going to fold the fabric in half. It's not an exact art, but you know, we'll get it as good as we can. Now, where I've got the edge that I folded over, I'm going to put a row of pins in along here, just like we did with the row of pins along here, that we're actually going to sew along. And now I'm going to twist it 90 degrees and you should have this other open edge here, which is going to be the bottom of the bag. And then I'm just going to put some pins along here, probably just 3 or 4. Let's bring the sewing machine back in and sew along the row of pins that we just put in. Very simple. So back down here on the sewing machine camera, the light from the sewing machine I know is kind of glaring a little bit on the white plastic. I want to cover it up so you can see it a bit better. It's because it's a little bit later in the day, so we haven't got the sunlight coming in to counteract it. But there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna pop the presser foot down, I'm gonna make a few stitches and I'm gonna sew along my row of pins along here, pivot at the corner and then sew along the bottom, just like we've done before. When you sew this line here, make sure you don't start this piece of sewing right at the top. You need to leave 2 to 3 centimetre gap at the top so you can start your stitching about there. That should work. And what we're going to do is turn it through the right way, which means we're going to make a little scissor cut on the corner. And I'm also going to do it, although this is a folded corner, I'm going to just snip a little bit off of here as well. So I'm going to put the bag through the right way, which is much easier than on the coaster because you've got a full open edge. Okay, now comes what I think is the most difficult, annoying and tedious part of this. That is threading the cord through the fabric. So bear with me. So where you started your sewing down here, you should have a little gap in the original kind of fold that you made, and that's where your lace or your ribbon or whatever is going to go through. Personally, I find a shoelace is really good because it's got this like solid plasticky bit on the end that makes it really easy to guide through the fabric. So you're going to pop it in, and then I can't really tell you how to do this. You're just going to have to figure out yourself how to wiggle it through the fabric. It's long and tedious and boring. You sort of squash the fabric onto that plastic bit and then pull the fabric off the back, and eventually you're going to get around to the other side, and the bit of plastic is going to peek out of the other little end of the fabric. You can then pull it all the way through until the bag is pulled up tight and your laces are about the same length. Then it's a really good idea to just tie a knot in these two ends to stop them from unraveling in the bag. If you tie a little knot like that, and there you have a drawstring bag. You can put anything you like in. I find these really good for traveling, so I'll put like maybe like all my socks into one of these. I might put a pair of shoes into one of these. I use them a lot when I travel. Not that we can travel anywhere at the moment, but we will be able to one day, and you'll have lots of nice little bags that you can use to travel in. So you make these as gift bags, as I showed you with the little ladybird one in the beginning. You can make a long wine bottle bag in this style. This is a shoe bag. You can make any kind of bag you like. But there you go, one drawstring bag.